I first of all remind you of some domestic arrangements. Toilets are situated outside the meeting room, opposite the stairs. Cold water is also available in the breakout area outside the meeting room. If the fire alarm should sound, please leave the meeting room by following the fire exit signs and meet on the Ipswich Town Football Club training pitch. Do not re-enter the building until you are told it is safe to do so. Please switch off all mobile phones or turn them to silent. I would like to remind everyone present that this meeting will be broadcast live to the internet and will be capable of repeated viewing. The whole of the meeting will be filmed, except where there are confidential or exempt items. If you make a representation to the meeting, you will be deemed by the Council to have consented to being filmed. By entering this meeting, you are also consenting to being filmed by the Council and to the possible use of those images and sound recordings for webcasting and or training purposes. The Council, members of the public and the press may record, film, photograph or broadcast this meeting when the public and the press are not lawfully excluded. Before I move to the agenda, I'd like to say a few thank yous, particularly to Karen and her daughter, who's assisted all sorts of engagements, tearing up lottery tickets. Jan, Henrietta, and the Democratic Services for their support and guidance. All the officers who diligently attend council meetings to advise and inform. And finally yourselves, the members, for thoughtful and well-informed presentations and respectful and at times entertaining debate. Last week I was able to present cheques of over £1,000 each to Beyond the Wall and the Forge, my two charities. It has been an interesting and exciting year that has gone all too quickly. Thank you for the chance to serve as chair. Thank you. Oh, I forgot something. If you could take this down. It's for Karen's daughter, and there's a card as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, there's one strange chocolate, which is white top, which is based on stout. So you might want to avoid that one. They're handmade from Coca Mama in I. Right. Can I move to the agenda, please? Can I please have nominations for the position of Chair of the Council? Do I have a proposer? Councillor Miller.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'd like to propose Councillor Daniel Pratt to step up from being Vice Chair to Chairman of the Council. He's done a great job as Vice Chair, and I know he had to step in on one occasion, and I'm sure he'll do a great job as Chair.
Thank you. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Matheson.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I've worked very closely with Councillor Pratt over the last 5 years, and that's been a great pleasure. And he's much cleverer than I am, and younger and prettier. And so I absolutely great pleasure in seconding the nomination.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? I'm going to take a vote by a show of hands. All those in favour? I declare Councillor Pratt duly elected. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Warboys. I, Daniel Pratt, having been elected to the office of Chair of the Council, hereby declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to be guided by the Suffolk Local Code of Conduct in the performance of my functions in that office. Firstly, I would like to extend our warm welcome to Councillor Baker, Ward Member for Chiltern. I would like to thank both Councillor Mellon and Councillor Matheson for my nomination to the position of Chair of the Council. I thank you both really for your kind and encouraging words. I would also like to thank my fellow councillors and colleagues who have supported me. It's a real honour to take up the role of Chair, and I look forward to promoting our council and nominated charity. With much gratitude and appreciation, I thank Councillor Warboys for his service to the council as Chair. He has set a great example in his dedication to his causes and has spoken out in support of social, racial and economic justice. Notably, taking a stand in support of Iranian women and girls during the Iranian unrest last year. It has been a real pleasure to serve as his Vice Chair. My chosen charity for this year is the Food Museum in Stowmarket. Our fundraising will support a high-quality programme providing a range of activities promoting health, nutrition, well-being and social support. Currently, the museum has provided free cooking activities for children on free school meals, integration and community building events for refugees, and a community referral programme working with the National Health Service. Additionally, the museum has received recognition as an industry leader in environmental responsibility. They have planted over 1 mile of hedgerow and managed the woodland and river to encourage wildlife on a site that's located in the heart of our town. I really look forward to my fellow councillors' support in raising funds for this worthwhile cause. I look forward to representing the council for the next municipal year. I intend to chair our meetings with fairness and impartiality, but remind members to be mindful and respectful in debate. Once again, thank you to you all. I would now like to move to item 2 of the agenda, the election of Vice Chair of the Council. May I have nominations for the Vice Chair, please? Councillor Mellon.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I would like to nominate Councillor Keith Scarf for the role of Vice Chair of the Council. I first met Keith, I think it was on the platform at Stowmarket Railway Station when we were both elected back in 2019 and on our way to an induction day. And I've grown to appreciate his long experience of local government and Mid-Suffolk, and I hope that he will make a very good Vice Chair if elected.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Sorry, Councillor Carter.
Yes, it's me hiding here in the back. Yes, I've known Councillor Scarf a number of years, and I've always turned to him for advice. I found his advice to be well measured and level, impartial. He's got a number of hats, and so his wealth of knowledge will be very useful to you. So with him as your deputy, I think you'd be in good hands. So I'd certainly happy to second for him to stand as a deputy.
Thank you, Councillor Carter. Are there any further nominations? No? Okay, we're going to take a vote for each candidate by a show of hands. All those in favour? I now declare Councillor Scarf duly elected.
elected to the office of Vice Chair of the Council, hereby declare that I take office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to be guided by the Suffolk Local Code of Conduct in the performance of my functions in that office. Can I just say it's a great honour to be chosen as Vice Chair. Thank you to my proposer and seconder, and thank you to councillors for their confidence in me. I look forward to supporting Councillor Pratt in his role as new Chairman and congratulate him on his appointment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Scarf. Item 3, apologies for absence.
Thank you, Chair. We have received apologies from Councillor Teresa Davis, Councillor Janet Pearson, Councillor Ollie Walters and Councillor Miles Rowe. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4, declaration of interest by councillors. None received. Item 5, MC/24/1, to confirm the meetings of the minutes held on the 20th of March 2024 for accuracy only. Are there any issues with accuracy? No. Could I have a proposer, please? Councillor Mellon. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Whitehead. All those in favour? That's carried. Okay, item 6, Chair's announcements. I refer you to paper MC/24/2 for noting. Item 7, Leader's announcement. I would like to invite Councillor Mellon to present his update.
Thank you, Chair. Can I start by congratulating you on your elevation to Chair of the Council and to Councillor Scarf on becoming Vice Chair. I wish you both a successful year and I look forward to your fundraising events for an excellent cause. And of course we look forward to you carefully steering us through the debates and discussions in this chamber over the next year. I can also take this opportunity to thank Councillor Warboys for his chairmanship over the past year, and we look forward to you contributing to the work of the Council in a different way going forward. Councillors, can I just firstly apologise for not tabling my announcements ahead of time as I prefer to do and usually manage to. In my defence, it's been a busy couple of weeks, and also on this occasion you'll have to listen carefully rather than read them. I would also like to welcome our newest councillor, Lorraine Baker, for Chiltern Ward. Looking back over the past year, I'm grateful for the contributions that all councillors have made to the work of the council, whether it's sitting on committee or representing the council on an outside body, contributing to debates here in this chamber or looking at detail in a working group, or just by simply representing and standing up for the residents and communities that you serve. Earlier this year, I was lucky enough to go down to London with our Chief Exec and Councillor Ward from Baber, where the two councils were jointly awarded Councillor of the Year at the IEASY Public Sector Transformation Awards. Well, I'm very glad that the honour fell on my watch, but it would be unfair for this Green administration to take all the credit for the win when we know it's based on many years of transformation, which the councils, our officers and members have gone through. This award, I believe, is for all of us, and I hope we can all enjoy the recognition that it gives. If that was the highlight of the past year, there will be many other good moments as the new administration has bedded in and started work. Just last night at a parish council meeting, I was congratulated for one of our first initiatives, the Pride in Your Place grant. This was a fairly modest scheme. Parishes were offered £250 and larger ones £400 for any work they considered would improve the appearance of their community. And while not all parishes applied for the money, many that did embraced enthusiastically this concept. And so we've seen village signs cleaned and repainted, bus shelters refurbished, graffiti cleaned off, and the funding used in various creative ways. We're hoping to repeat the scheme or something similar later this year. I will not go back over the past year in detail, but just to touch on a few items. We all know that there was a major issue of flooding over the winter, and some of that's re-emerged again today. But our officers and members responded well to this, and the recovery continues. During the past year, we kicked off our Cosy Home scheme for free insulation for qualifying homes. Once we've worked through the first tranche of homes, we will be relaunching the scheme ahead of next winter. Gateway 14 is emerging as a centre for green and high-tech industries and an important income stream for the council. And we look forward to work starting on our skills and innovation centre on the site once that's approved. New sporting facilities for Stowmarket have been approved, and investments in community transport are coming through. One key piece of work during this past year has been the preparation of a new plan for Mid-Suffolk, setting out what we believe to be the council's mission, helping to create thriving and resilient communities in Mid-Suffolk. And I was very pleased that this plan was agreed unanimously by all members at our January meeting. Following on from this, Cabinet and the senior leadership team have been working to turn those principles and approach into an action plan, a set of deliverable actions, projects and programmes that we want to see implemented, and some of which are already underway. Some things in this action plan are a continuation of what the council is already doing. Some are extending the scope and scale of existing work, and others are entirely new initiatives. The action plan document we are working on is still being finalised, but in the spirit of openness and transparency, we intend to make this available. Hopefully it will be in a suitable format for circulation in the next few weeks. Central to this administration's approach is delivering the council services to a high standard. We know that people rely on us in many ways, from the basic services like emptying the bins to, in an emergency, providing a roof over their heads. We must continue to deliver these services competently and be responsive to our residents. We don't always get things right, but I do challenge the administration and officers to continually look for ways to improve what we do and how we do it. But there's much more we're doing to back communities, create opportunities and achieve our vision for the district, which is underpinned by the principles of environmental sustainability and social justice. One particular area of focus is housing and the urgent need to provide better council housing for our tenants. We have made improvements and we've invested £672,000 during this past year to clear a repairs backlog, and we've introduced new systems. But we must do even more for tenants. We are, however, constrained by the financing rules around the HRA, and in particular the below inflation rent caps applied by government in previous years. These have reduced our income significantly in perpetuity. So we will strive to improve homes, but at the same time we will continue to lobby government over the broken funding system for social housing. This is not our problem alone. There is a crisis faced by many local councils, and it is a particular threat to our improvement plans. Now, we would love to be building more council homes, but we have to be realistic about the financial constraints in the HRA. However, there are other ways to get affordable homes built, and so we want to encourage more community-led housing initiatives and stimulate the formation of community land trusts, resulting in community ownership of land for affordable housing. Now, Stowmarket is our biggest town and sits at the heart of the county of Suffolk. We believe that a thriving and vibrant Stowmarket is important for the whole district, so we are working with partners in the town to stimulate regeneration and improvement. Our partnership with Stowmarket Town Council has already resulted in a project to introduce a town ranger service modelled on successful schemes elsewhere. Now, the initiative for this came from the Town Council, but we've been able to support it with funding, and we hope that this will be a template for other initiatives. No single organisation can do everything, but working together, we can make a significant economic, cultural and social impact. And we do intend to make a significant investment in culture and in the town centre in Stowmarket. And of course, we want to work with all of Mid-Suffolk's towns and villages, helping them to deliver their aspirations and to also have their input into the council's decision making. We do already have a large number of communities who have completed neighbourhood plans. We would like to see more, and we offer support for that to happen, whether that's a full neighbourhood plan or the lighter touch people and place plan. These documents help to shape future development, and we want to make sure that there is a renewed emphasis on good building design. Now, energy projects are affecting many communities, whether it's pylons or solar farms. And whilst many of these decisions about these larger applications are out of our hands and taken at the government level, we can encourage communities to create local renewable energy action plans, and we will support community scale initiatives that come forward. And we also want to support projects that enhance nature and green spaces in our villages. Our tree summit will be happening in early July. We will hear about the land that's been put forward by landowners and communities for tree planting, regeneration and nature. Many of our communities are looking at ideas like this because they believe, as I do, that we face a massive challenge in climate change and biodiversity loss. I know that people want to do the right thing, but they're often receiving conflicting messages about what the right thing is. So we want to make it easier for everyone to understand how they can combat climate change and improve biodiversity. We as a council will continue to cut our own carbon emissions, but we want to support the whole district to do the same. So we're investigating how we can ensure that households get clear, professional energy advice, and we want to make it easier for owners of listed buildings to make them energy efficient. All of these initiatives are in our action plan, but in order to deliver them, I do need to make some changes to the administration. At this time, I'm not intending to increase the number of cabinet members. However, I do want to appoint 2 new lead members to support the cabinet's work. We already have Councillor Ollie Walters as the lead member for recycling and waste, and from today he will be joined by Councillor Warboys as lead member for housing solutions, and these are all the housing services that we provide which are not related to our council homes, so homelessness prevention, temporary accommodation, rough sleeping, etc. A really important part of the council's work. And I'm also appointing Councillor Colin Lay as the lead member for Stowmarket to give the town the focus it needs. Now, he'll be working with Councillor Theresa Davis in her portfolio, which I am renaming as Simply Thriving Communities, which will bring it into line with our colleagues at Baber. Almost finished. I would like to finish with a personal reflection. I've been thinking a lot about the future recently, and that's because in a few weeks' time I will become a grandfather for the first time. Very exciting thing, and of course there are lots of preparations going on. Now, my wife, being the very creative person that she is, has already knitted a blanket for the baby. And having done so, she started to challenge me. Late one night, as I was hunched over my laptop answering yet another email, she said, "So what are you doing for this baby?" Well, I don't knit or crochet. And I was struggling for a few moments. But then it came to me, the perfect answer. I'll tell you what I'm doing for our grandchild. I'm trying to make a better world. Because I think that's what this is all about. That's what we're all here for. We want to leave the world in a better place for our children and grandchildren. We all want to leave our towns, our villages, our wonderful district in better shape for those that follow us. We want, I hope, to be good ancestors. So we're not just focused on the problems of today or this next year. We want this council to make a positive impact long into the future. And I believe that together, officers, councillors, the whole organisation, we can do that. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, sit down.
Can I just add one very brief codicil to that? Apparently, the Prime Minister has announced an election will take place on the 4th of July.
Thank you, Chair. Would anybody like to raise any points for clarification only, please? No? Okay. Well, we're going to move on to item 8, designation of committees and joint committees.
Can I just propose something?
Councillor Hicks.
Can I just say, I just think, out of respect, I would like us to stand for a minute and think about Leslie, just at the start of the meeting, because she was instrumental with me when I became a councillor. She was always amazingly supportive. I didn't know her well, but she was one of those people we all knew, and I would just think it'd be appropriate because she was a real figure of Mid-Suffolk District Council. If that's appropriate and we're allowed with the monitoring officer, I think it'd be relevant to do.
Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 8, designation of committees and joint committees. To appoint the following committees and joint committees: Overview and Scrutiny Committee, Planning Committee, Licensing and Regulatory Committee, Joint Audit and Standards Committee, and Joint Appointments Committee. Could I have a proposer to appoint all committees listed on the agenda? Councillor Mellon. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Whitehead. All those in favour? That is carried. Item 9, political balance and composition of committees. I refer you to Appendix B in the tabled papers. I would like to invite Jan Robinson, Interim Monitoring Officer, to introduce paper MC/24/3.
Thank you, Chair. I'm not going to say too much. The purpose of the report is to comply with the provisions of the Local Government Housing Act 1989, which require us to allocate seats to political groups at each and every annual council meeting as soon as practicable after that meeting. So we're asking you to seek to approve the composition of those allocation of seats tonight, and that committee members and named substitutes be appointed as set out in Appendix B of this report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Could I have a proposer? Councillor Mellon. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Winch. Are there any questions on this? Okay. All those in favour? That is carried. That's unanimous. Thank you. Item 10, election of chairs and vice chairs of committees. So we're going to elect a chair and vice chair of the following committees: Overview and Scrutiny Committee, Planning Committee, Licensing and Regulatory Committee. And we're going to elect a co-chair to the following joint committees: the Joint Audit and Standards Committee, Joint Appointments Committee. May I have nominations for the chair of Overview and Scrutiny Committee? Could I have a proposer? Councillor Scarf.
Can I propose Councillor James Caston for Chair of the Scrutiny Committee?
Could I have a seconder? Councillor Mellon. And are there any further nominations? Okay, can we take a vote by show of hands, please? All those in favour? That's carried. Councillor Caston is duly appointed Chair of Overview and Scrutiny Committee. May I have nominations for the Vice Chair of Overview and Scrutiny Committee? Could I have a proposer? Councillor Caston.
Could I propose Keith Scarf? He's been Vice Chair on this committee and been extremely useful in my role as Chair.
Thank you. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Mellon. Are there any further nominations? No. All those in favour? That is carried. Councillor Scarf is duly appointed Vice Chair of Overview and Scrutiny Committee. May I have nominations for the Chair of Planning Committee? Could I have a proposer, please? Councillor Stringer.
Chair, I'd like to propose Councillor Sarah Mansell to be Chair.
Thank you. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Hardingham. Are there any further nominations? All those in favour? That is carried. Councillor Mounsell is duly appointed Chair of Planning Committee. May I have nominations for the Vice Chair of Planning Committee? Could I have a proposer? Councillor Caston.
Thank you, Chair. Could I propose Lavinia Haddingham, please?
Thank you. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Whitehead. Are there any further nominations? All those in favour? That is carried. Councillor Haddingham is duly appointed Vice Chair of Planning Committee. May I have nominations for the Chair of Licensing and Regulatory Committee? Could I have a proposer, please? Councillor Bradbury.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to nominate Councillor Ollie Waters.
Thank you. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Overett. Are there any further nominations? All those in favour? Thank you. That is carried. Councillor Walters is duly appointed Chair of Licensing and Regulatory Committee. May I have nominations for the Vice Chair of Licensing and the Regulatory Committee, please? Could I have a proposer? Councillor Overett.
I'd like to propose Nikki Wilshire.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Linders? Yes. Thank you. All those in favour? Sorry, are there any further nominations? All those in favour? Okay. Councillor Wiltshire is duly appointed Vice Chair of Licensing and Regulatory Committee. May I have nominations for the co-chair of the Joint Audit and Standards Committee? Could I have a proposer? Councillor Patchett.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to nominate Councillor John Matheson.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Whitehead. Any other nominations? All those in favour? That is carried. Councillor Matheson is duly appointed the co-chair of the Joint Audit and Standards Committee. May I have nominations for the co-chair of the Joint Appointments Committee? Could I have a proposer? Councillor Piper.
Thanks, Chair. Can I nominate Councillor Mellon, please?
Can I have a seconder? Councillor Lay? Are there any further nominations? Okay. All those in favour? That is carried. Councillor, was Councillor Hardingham? Which councillor? Oh, sorry, Councillor Mellon. I didn't hear that very clearly. Beg your pardon. Okay, nearly got through that. Item 11, appointments to outside bodies for the year 2024 to 2025. I refer you to Appendix A in the table papers. I would like to invite the leader to introduce paper MC/24/4 and move the recommendation in the report. Can I have a seconder? Sorry, Councillor Mellon.
Yeah, just to say that the table papers show a broad range of bodies which we have to send representatives to. It's very important that we connect with these other partner organisations. I think pretty much all of the names are there. Just want to add one, which is the Western Suffolk Community Safety Partnership. It says they're sub to be confirmed, and Councillor Wilshire has agreed to take that position. Otherwise, they're as tabled, and I'm happy to propose that we accept these.
Have a seconder, please. Councillor Wiltshire. All those in favour? That is carried. Item 12, appointment of councillors to the Shared Revenues Partnership Joint Committee. The nominations have been tabled. Could I have a proposer? Councillor Mellon? Could I have a seconder? Councillor Whitehead? All those in favour? That is carried. Item 13, appointments to the Suffolk Joint Standards Board. The nominations have been tabled. Could I have a proposer, please? Councillor Mellon. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Carter. All those in favour? That is carried. Item 14, appointments to the Joint Gypsy and Traveller Steering Group. Council is asked to appoint 4 councillors to the Joint Gypsy and Traveller Steering Group. The nominations have been tabled. Could I please have a proposer? Councillor Mellon. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Stringer. All those in favour? That's carried. Item 15, appointments to council working groups. Council is asked to appoint councillors to the following working groups as tabled: the Biodiversity Working Group, Community Governance Review Working Group, Constitution Working Group, Council Investment Portfolio Working Group, Member Learning and Development Working Group, Local Plan Working Group, and the Sustainable Travel Working Group. Could I have a proposer? Councillor Mellon. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Winch. All those in favour? That is carried. Item 16, appointment of Armed Forces Champion. The nomination has been tabled. Could I have a proposer? Councillor Mellon.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I mean, this is an important role for us as a council. We have a large military facility on the edge of the district, and Councillor Patchett is really the ideal person for this as an ex-serving member of the military. So I'm happy to propose him and continue doing the good job he's done over the past year.
Thank you, Councillor Mellon. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Lay. All those in favour? That is carried. Item 17, appointment of Mental Health Champion. Can I have nominations, please? Councillor Mellon.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. The need for this position sort of became evident over the last couple of weeks. I hadn't been aware that we hadn't had someone previously in this. And I did send around the role description to all councillors to see if anyone was particularly interested in this role. I have actually had then 3 people who've approached me about being involved. So what I'd like to propose, and I must just check this with the monitoring officer, could we for the first year have 3 people sharing that role and then see how it works out? So I have Councillor Warboys, Councillor Carter and Councillor Baker who've all expressed an interest. So I'm happy to nominate all 3 of them to share the role.
Thank you, Councillor Mellon. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Hardingham. All those in favour? That is carried. Okay, that brings a close to our annual council meeting.